And we are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am one of your co-hosts, Blake Ruffino. Alongside me is my counterpart, Joe DeLeone. Good evening, good sir.
Blake, did we catch Ohio State doing something illegal? Are they in trouble here? Is the hand on the other glove?
I don't know, but listen, did you hear our good friends over at Crane and Company? They had the Attorney General of Tennessee on. Did you hear that today?
Oh, no, I missed that.
Legitimately came out and validated that they broke rules, but that it shouldn't be a rule.
So that's in line with my argument.
Basically, yeah. But here's the thing, though. They have the Attorney General saying Tennessee violated a rule, but the court is going to determine it shouldn't be a rule. So
yeah, that's the whole point of the discussion. The whole point of the debate. Hold on
1 second.
Yeah.
They're openly admitting pay for play for Nico Iamaleava.
That wasn't the issue, though. That wasn't what.
Oh God!
I was trying to say this whole time was that the problem was that what they did was violating an old rule, but the problem is that the NCAA tried to come down on them, and then it immediately opened up this door for litigation. I really think it was a trap in a way. Like, it almost felt like it was some sort of a trap, like somebody convinced them, hey, you should investigate this, and they were just slowly waiting. Because think about how quickly everybody rushed to defend them. Like the chancellors, the state, all of that. They all rushed to defend them. This seems so deliberate. It was so political.
Are we getting Game of Thrones?
It feels like it.
Are we getting Successioned? By the way, have you seen the Succession?
Yeah, I have seen Succession.
Oh my God. The way that it ended was the Tom Wamskamps, my man.
We're a little late on reacting to that, aren't we?
I guess so, but I mean, we were doing the show, dude. We reacted to it. I called you Tom Wamskamps.
Yeah, but I was slow to I hadn't watched it. I was like 5 episodes behind everyone, so we didn't really get to talk about it. But to this point, though, it does feel like there's a lot of
I think it was type stuff going on here.
Yeah, exactly.
You might be onto something, but I thought it was interesting. So yes, Ohio State self-reported 4 minor recruiting violations. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Joe, we continue on our hot seat tracker. I actually did Sam Pittman and Billy Napier in one full swoop today on my other show.
Ooh.
And Arkansas fans are not happy.
They're not happy with you, or they're not happy with Sam Pittman?
No, they're not. Well, they should be mad at Sam Pittman. They are not happy with me.
Because you said fire him.
No, I said hiring Bobby Petrino is probably the dumbest move that you can do and pull and make on a head coach. You're basically telling him he sucks. And I just called it a lose-lose. And boy, some of them were out there defending Sam Pittman, which giving them a little bit of life. Yeah. I'm like, Sammy still got some supporters out there now.
I remember when we posted the Petrino reaction segment.
A
lot of the same sentiment. A lot of that same sentiment.
Oh, interesting. Maybe Sammy P when we get to him. It'll be interesting. But we will go out west. We'll go to the city that you're in LA, and talk about Lincoln Riley and is he really on the hot seat?
I think it's worth having the conversation.
Oh no, Joe.
This is why I want to do this segment, because it's not, hey, here are all the guys on the hot seat. It's let's build a case for a guy if he should or should not be, that maybe underperformed last year. That's why I want to do this. We could do 20 of these. That's how many of these we could do.
I want to just give you I'm not comparing these two guys, but I do have a comparison of, don't let one bad year fool you. Don't let one bad year fool you, because there are some big-time national championship winning head coaches who in year twos, Joe, some of them have taken a step back, even in a rebuild. We will talk about that here tonight. Actually, one of your former head coaches, you could say the same thing too. Did LSU take a little bit of a step back with the Heisman Trophy winner? Be careful there, little young whippersnapper.
I don't know if it was as big of a step back, though. It
was not.
Yeah.
LSU wakes up and has 9 wins. Notre Dame wakes up and they're still not in the conference.
Okay. All right. Lose the strays.
I'm excited.
Okay.
Lance Leipold also gets an extension. Joe, you brought something up sooner. I saw you posted on social media. You said you thought this would be sooner. I'm with you.
Yeah, the amount of teams that he was brought up as a potential candidate, you would have thought that this would have happened sooner. But the timing, regardless of timing, my main point is that he earned it.
Conversation though, right? Like this is just getting, announced, and like maybe they had a gentleman's agreement. Like, hey man, we're gonna give you a new contract. Can we agree to it in principle? And we sign this and get this done later. And Lance is probably like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. Because you know who else it happened to? Steve Sarkisian got an extension last week. So it kind of falls in line with maybe they agreed in principle, but we will talk about that. Again, I'm going to tell you, brother, I've got a sleeper in the Big 12 playoff coming. Could it be? I don't know. Did you see Bill Connolly's S&P Plus?
No. Where did he have Kansas?
Every team with the production percentage higher than 65% in a 3-year span, all of them have been in the top 10 at the end of the year. Ask Missouri. So I will just say sometimes analytics play really tricky games. Here come the Jayhawks.
The only way that I see that they get in is if they win the Big 12. I don't realistically see a world where they do better than 8-4, 9-3 is doable, but I'm not putting in a 9-3 Big 12 team into the playoff. That's just not happening. I'm not doing that. We did the whole debate that we had the other day about who gets in and who doesn't. A 2-loss conference winner, sure, gets in, deserves to get in, but if you don't win the conference and you've got 3 losses, it's not happening.
Can you clip me saying, here come the Jayhawks, caw?
For what you just want to have that soundbite?
Yeah, so that we have, we can get the Jayhawks fans on our side.
I don't think that there are Jayhawks fans. Are there? Are there really that many?
I don't know, Dorothy. We're not in Kansas anymore. Let's get this thing started and let's get this thing rolling. Joe, I do need to bring up a comment before we get to our show here.
Oh, it's Gavin.
And he says, is Rome Odunze better than Malik Neighbors?
No, he's not. I think he's a really good prospect. I really, really like him. Tall, long. He's going to run really well. He's going to jump out of the gym this week at the NFL Combine. But he is not – I just don't think he's as takeover type of a player as Malik Neighbors is. Malik Neighbors is just very unique in his size, after the catch ability, his route running. I will not go as far as say Malik Neighbors is better than Marvin Harrison Jr. I do not believe that, but he's definitely better than Rome Odunze.
He's a more polished Amare St. Brown.
I could see that. I keep comparing him to Odell. I think minus the hands, like the crazy
he's
hands.
More physical than Odell was. Odell is finesse. He is much more physical than Odell ever was.
Route running is kind of where I'm going with that, and after the catch stuff, like that's kind of where
Odell runs 3 routes. Are you ready?
What?
A slant that he will take to the house, by the way, a go route, and a fake go route, hitch, fake go route.
Yeah, but that's
Odell Beckham's.
He ran those to perfection. That was why he was so good.
You're a New York Giants fan.
Yeah, he was
great.
Do you
remember where you were when he had the most beautiful catch of all time?
I was sitting in a bar, and I wasn't really looking at the game. Like I just sat down and I looked up and I saw and I was like, "There's no way that he caught that." Did he get a flag? Did he push off? Easily one of the few plays that I just remember. Like I can remember exactly where I was, when it happened, how it happened, all of that.
Was that the day that you fell in love with LSU?
No, it was not. It reaffirmed my disdain for them.
Why?
I'm joking.
Stop by our good friends over at betonline.ag. Guys, use your mobile device today. Sign up. Joe, we got a lot to discuss. We do that on the other side of this break. Y'all stay with us. Everybody hit the like and share, by the way. Facebook, subscribe, notification bell if you're on YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Stay with us. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. We're back. Indeed, we are. Joe, also the Texans fans were kind of pushing back on me today.
Yeah, what did you post that we got tagged in by the charity stripe guys? What did you post?
I just said, should you be worried? But can I be honest? Can I be honest?
Oh, I love that I turned you into a clickbait artist. I love it.
It was so much clickbait. So much clickbait by me. Should they worry? Joe, you know what? I said that their floor was 10-2. Like everything goes wrong 10-2.
I'm so glad that I turned. I mean, you picked up the art of it so quickly. You put the most bullshit title in the thumbnail, and then it's like, no, we shouldn't worry. Oh, I love it.
Clickbaits galore over here. I did that. We had to do that one on purpose. Yes, I did make that part of clip art because I wanted to troll some people. Joe, let's start off with this. Lincoln Riley is the discussion that we will have today on him in reference to, and the series that we have been doing about should some of these coaches like Billy Napier, Sam Pittman, Dave Aranda be on the hot seat. Today we go to Lincoln. Joe, I got to admit, I'll let you go first on this. I don't even know. Is it really worth the conversation?
I think it is.
On the hot seat? Okay. Tell me why.
When I say that he is a part of our hot seat tracker debate here, it's not so much that he's going to get fired at the end of the season. He is not going to be high up on the scale like we had with Billy Napier. But I think it's worth bringing up here that this past offseason for him has not exactly sparked a lot of confidence in me to feel like this thing is turning in the right direction. There has been regression in multiple areas that need to be paid attention to. And while I don't think that this upcoming season is going to be the fireable one, if they go a comparable record as last year, which was 8-5, we need to have the convo at the end of the season. He is stepping into a battle in the Big Ten, facing off with teams that play a style of football that he's not used to. And the only comparable one that we can think of that is close to the Big Ten is Utah. And Utah has dicked down USC over the past 2 years since Lincoln Riley has gotten there. His inability to make teams play at a physical level and go punch for punch with opponents, it's reprehensible. It's terrible. It's pathetic. And I have seen them go from a team playing in their conference championship to 8-5, where they were 8th in recruiting in 2023 to now 17th in 2024. They're getting beaten out on all the top recruits in the state. They are not trending in a positive direction. But I feel why we have to talk about this is everybody wants to give a guy like this the benefit of the doubt because it's Lincoln Riley. I have heard only negative things about him from people in Oklahoma circles. I do not feel good about the direction that this thing is going in.
I get what you're saying. They lost to Utah by 2.
A injury decimated Utah with a pig farmer playing quarterback and a safety playing running back. What do you think is going to, that's all the Big Ten teams. That's literally Iowa's better than that.
I don't disagree that right now, at least on paper, it looks like that they cannot compete in some areas. However, they did go into the portal and bring in 2 big-time defensive linemen. I don't think anybody and their mama is talking enough about Nate Clifton from Vandy, who, Joe, look, I've seen up close and personal, brother, is not a joke. Could have stayed in the SEC, dominated at times in the SEC, didn't get the numbers, okay, but every time that I would break down LSU film, Nate Clifton, if they played Vandy, like Georgia did, okay, he dominated. So all I am saying is I understand what you're saying, okay, with Lincoln. I just don't know if I can go there with him yet. And let me tell you why. Nick Saban, when he got to LSU, his second year, okay, yeah, they were a little bit better, okay, in a rebuild type of situation, but then they had success and then took a step back before they won their national title in 2003. Kirby Smart had some of those same issues. Now, he got to a national championship in year 2, but then some regression went on after that. I just think that there's got to be some grace for guys in a year 2 of a rebuild, because you say year 1, you get it all done. Year 2 is what it's supposed to be. And then year 3. Saban is the person who started the year 3 thing, right? Like 1,000%, because after Saban did that at LSU and he did it at Bama, everybody said, you have 3 years to turn this thing around. And not everything is created equally. Bringing in a new DC is a big deal. Joe, UCLA defensively was pretty freaking good. They were top 5 in a lot of statistical categories.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I know that Caleb Williams is probably going to be the first overall pick. I understand that. I don't know if Miller Moss is not better for this system and running Lincoln's system instead of an improvising kind of guy like Caleb Williams was. I do think that Caleb put them in a lot of bad situations throughout the year that we don't even much talk about. I can't go there with him yet. Now that he's turned over at DC, Alex Grinch is no longer with him. You bring in a really good coach. You got some pieces in the portal. I know, again, on paper, it does not look good. I'm just not going to write him off yet.
I understand what you're saying, but we have a perfect example to look at here with Oklahoma. The team that he just left. He just left Oklahoma. All those kids hopped in the portal. They all left. The roster was so bad that Brent Venables looked terrible in the first year. Everybody was clowning on Oklahoma and the fact that USC was the profiter in this situation, and they're the ones winning in this relationship after the first year. But I have seen massive steps forward from Oklahoma, from Brent Venables, in recruiting, in roster development. They're putting plenty of guys out into the NFL. And more importantly, they're recruiting the quarterback position very well. They're recruiting defensive line and edge very well, like he did when he was at Clemson. Oklahoma, in the same amount of span, I feel good about, is trending in the right direction. It is progressing and taking steps forward.
Can you really do that, though? Because he had a really bad year 1. He went 6-7. He had a losing year.
Yes. But the situation that he took over was equally as bad as the one that Lincoln took over at USC.
Regardless if you flip-flop years, it doesn't matter. You got one dude who could be a couple of wins away from getting to another playoff in year 1. If it wasn't for Utah, they were getting into a playoff, right?
They were. But what did I just
my whole point in that, though, is, Joe, you can't necessarily always do that, because you've seen dude, I'm telling you, live by the portal, die by the portal. Joe, they died by the portal this year.
And they're still not recruiting, though.
I don't look.
No, come on, man. We talked about this. Their recruiting class is for what they could be.
I am not talking about their high school recruiting. You live by the portal, you die by the portal, though. Joe, you're talking about the Rakes kid that transferred in from A&M. He was a part of that defensive line that even at time, Joe, he was rotating in for Walter Nolan. Like sometimes they were taking Walter Nolan out for this kid.
I just
you don't think that they're not going to be better defensively, Joe? If they're better defensively,
I think that they're going to be slightly better defensively. I think that there's so many holes in it. It's the same. It's like with LSU. Yeah, LSU is going to be better, but is there going to be like an immediate flip to them being a top 20 defense?
Does they need 2 more wins? Do they get a stop against a team like Utah that they lost last year?
They need to be completely different against. I know my internet for some reasons being difficult. They need to be able to play that way, though, on a week-to-week basis. They need to play at an elite defensive level every single week. They have to be more physical. And I have no confidence with the guys that they brought in that they're suddenly going to be more physical and that they're going to play better. My whole point here is that there's plenty of coaches that we can point to that in their second year was showing signs of progress. I don't have that from Lincoln Riley. And I think the biggest issue here, sure, we can put some of the blame on Lincoln Riley, but at the end of the day, we watch plenty of this offense. You talk to enough people that are evaluating film right now, that are watching this USC film that don't even follow college, and all of them are saying the game plan, the decision-making offensively was fucking aimless. It was completely aimless. That's supposed to be his bread and butter. That is supposed to be what buoys this damn team.
Joe, I vehemently disagree with that statement. About
their offense wasn't dog shit last year compared to what it should be.
Wasn't dog shit. Can I tell you something? Can I tell you what my God's honest opinion? I don't think Caleb knew how to run it. I think
I disagree with that because he ran the damn offense the year before and he won the Heisman. I think the in-game decision making was worse.
Missing wide open guys either. There's a lot of film on Caleb out there too that he was not. He wanted to improvise and do the shit that he wanted to do. Remember against Notre Dame, Joe? Remember against Notre Dame?
I remember the way that he played, but I don't think that the play call did him any favors.
Pause. You're a Notre Dame guy, right?
Yeah, I'm obviously wearing a Notre Dame shirt. Should not have done that, but
was he not very erratic?
He was extremely erratic.
All right,
but okay.
We're defending Lincoln Riley with my life.
I don't know. I'm stunned by the fact that you're defending him. I thought that you and I were going to be teaming up on him. No, but when you have a talent,
this ain't the Dudley boys.
Wait. We talked about on Monday with Billy Napier and the importance of and the disturbing nature of the fact that they had Anthony Richardson in his first year, and he's supposed to be an offensive guy, and he couldn't get Anthony Richardson to play at a higher level and for them to be better offensively.
Billy Napier had this many Heisman Trophy winners, Joe. I can give Lincoln some By the way, the kid was a Heisman Trophy winner the year before.
But this is my point. The kid is extremely gifted. His offensive weapons, if anything, improved with Zachariah Branch coming in.
And nobody wants to admit that he's a problem.
The play calling was terrible. The play calling is what set him up to play bad. I see a kid who is visibly frustrated on film.
Yeah, because he's making his own mistakes and making it look like it's somebody else's.
I completely disagree with that.
Y'all too high on him now.
I think I'm perfectly reasonable on where I see Caleb Williams projecting. I understand the concerns.
Lincoln gets a longer leash because of the simple nature that he has. Well, Baker Mayfield Heisman Trophy winner, Kyler Murray Heisman Trophy winner, Jalen Hurts.
This is my whole point. It's bullshit.
Jalen Hurts was at the podium, and Caleb Williams. So wait, the last 4 quarterbacks that he's had has won a Heisman or been a finalist. So yeah, I give him a longer leash than Billy Napier, who, by the way, Joe, has had 2 losing seasons.
I'm not saying fire him after year 3, and I opened by saying that. I don't think that he is going to be fired after year 3. But if this,
so what number would you put it?
I would give it a 4.5, and I think that is a reasonable number. I think it is a completely reasonable number because a 4.5 to me says there's really not a concern. But if you do not show signs of progress, here's the biggest important thing here.
While you wear your Notre Dame shirt,
I know I made a terrible choice putting this damn shirt on because the comments are gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me. Oh, they always do this. Wow, this Notre Dame fan is just talking shit. Look, for them in 2024, it is nut cutting time. The rubber meets the road. You have to be in the Big Ten championship game. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about this. There is no, oh, you were close. That's okay. They have to get to the Big Ten championship game. That was what he was hired for. He was not hired for.
I don't agree with that.
He was not hired for 9-3. That does not, for him to leave Oklahoma when he was going to playoffs, when he was getting all these Heisman Trophy winners, winning the conference consistently every single year. That is not why you hire a guy like that for the massive contract he was given.
No, Joe, we're talking about firing. Like you're saying he's got to get there.
Jim, what was Texas A&M's record last year? He just got fired.
He could also win 10 games in the regular season, not go to the conference championship and make a playoff and make a run.
You're not in the Big Ten. This is something that I think is getting.
You don't think that 3 or 4 Big Ten teams are going to make it?
This is something that I think is getting very overlooked in the expanded playoff, the expanded conferences. The Big Ten and the SEC, there are not going to be that many teams that have 10 wins. It's going to be really hard to get 10 wins. It's going to be a lot harder. But my whole point is that I don't think it's realistic if they're not in the conference championship game or at least close for them to end up in the playoff.
Joe, they're going to be the new Penn State.
And that's what you hired Lincoln Riley for? That's what you hired him for? A national championship winning program. That's what you hired him for.
Here's the issue. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I'm disagreeing with you on, okay, if he should even be on this meter right now. Now, Joe, what did I say before the show started? I literally prepared everybody for this. But Andrew sends us a $499 super chat. Says, you just compared Saban to Lincoln Riley. No D. Riley. Didn't I prepare everybody for this statement? Didn't I say I'm going to compare him to somebody, but he's clearly not him. I can't take anything you say seriously now. Andrew, what I'm saying here is, Joe, do you get what I'm saying there? Like, we give him
time. We got to give him time.
Well, Saban made the 3-year rule. And I don't think that's a fair comparison to always look at coaches with. Because if you would have had the 3-year rule, before NIL Dabo appeared, right? It took Kirby a little while to get that first natty. It took him in year 5, Joe. He was in year 5.
Yeah, but
I get what, don't
Kirby wasn't. Georgia had been out of the national championship conversation for decades. Kirby Smart was not hired.
That's not true. That's not true. Joe, they played in more SEC championship games than anybody in the conference. They were relevant in getting there. Joe, there were multiple years. Remember when Aaron Murray, he completed a pass at the goal line? They're legitimately an Aaron Murray pass away from making it to a national title game.
But there's a difference between what Kirby did in his first 3 years and what Lincoln Riley did, because every single year, though, there has been signs of progress, signs of progression. I see nothing but issues in the first 2 years. This whole no attention defense thing, I understand that you just hired D'Anton Lynn, and I think that he is a phenomenal defensive coordinator. I actually think he's going to probably end up in the NFL and end up being an amazing defensive coordinator in the NFL in short time. But I think that the entire identity of this team is soft, and I've said that it is soft. It is not a team that is built. It is built like a Big 12 team. It is not a team that is built to have to face off with, and this is their schedule in 2024, Michigan, Penn State, Washington, UCLA, and Notre Dame are the most difficult games on their schedule. Those are not surefire, guaranteed, locked wins for them.
He's got to win 2 of them. I think success for him is 9-3 this year. 10-2.
I think that's okay. Well, 10-2 obviously is a great year, and he gets to the playoff, and it's a great season. But
right. I'm just not gonna write him off just yet.
All right,
I can't do it. You know what I hate more than anything?
What?
And Billy Napier's situation at Florida is much more grim. Sam Pittman's is much more grim. Okay. We're putting him here because number one, he's Lincoln Riley. All right. And he's had the success. He's been in the playoff. Joe, what you going to do with Dabo? We need to put Dabo on that meter.
We're doing a Dabo segment. You think, how far do you think I'm going to go with this, man? Dude, we got a whole off season. I'm stirring shit. That's the whole point of the show. We stir shit. I'm gonna ask the questions. We're not. This isn't the charity stripe. We're not holding their dick when we talk, man. I'm coming out swinging. I want to talk about this stuff.
Well, you need to make friends, young buck. Stop being mean all the time.
Oh, come on. That's rich coming from you. What are you talking about?
All right. You want to go down to Kansas?
Yeah, let's talk about Kansas.
All right. Lance Leipold got a new contract extension. Joe, you said something earlier in the day. Oh, we missed one? Okay.
Oh, yeah, get to the...
Sorry. Cody McGee says, sorry, hold on. Let's back up. Cody sends a $4.99 super chat, says USC's fan base is one of the most impatient fan bases. As well, they want national championships, and they want it now. Do you, Joe? Do you agree? Like, what do you think about this?
I agree, and I think that it's justified in different situations. I think with Clay Helton, they were surprisingly weirdly patient. Lane Kiffin got pushed out the door really quickly.
Sark was it's going to be that way with Lincoln?
Different animal.
You don't think that they're just kind of like the whole LA vibe, chill, whatever?
That was what I was going to get to, though. I think that the real USC fans, not the casuals that are like, oh, it's the USC game's on at the bar, let's go watch the game. There's a lot of people like that here, I've discovered, which it grosses me out. But the real USC fans, I think, are going to be frustrated by how much money they're paying him to not be in the Big Ten championship game in 2024. I think that they would immediately start making these the same statements that I'm making right now. I'm just making it a season early.
If you fire Lincoln Riley, who's your next head coach?
Brian Kelly. No, I'm just kidding. I bet you that's the first person who gets brought up.
Probably. But who would be your first call if you're USC?
I don't know, man. That's actually a tough one because we're talking about 2 years from now. Like, we're talking about who do you hire 2 years from now. I'm not talking about this upcoming
I'm talking about if you fired him this year. If it was so bad you fired him this year.
I
don't know if you can.
I mean, would you try to bring back Pete Carroll? They've done that before. I'm blanking on the freaking
John God dog it. I know
you know who I'm talking about.
Because he was with Orgeron at LSU.
John McKay.
John McKay, yeah. Interesting. 87-year-old Pete Carroll out there coaching in.
He's not that old.
Pete Carroll's he's too old for college. All right, let's go on down to Kansas. Joe, you said something earlier in the day about you not knowing if this should have been sooner or not. But Lance Leipold, the head coach at Kansas. John
Robinson. Sorry, I'm correcting myself. Sorry, continue. It was not John McKay, it was John Robinson. Sorry.
Did you notice how beautiful my opening was and you're just gonna walk all over it?
Yeah, you're gonna have to do it again. I'm sorry.
Joe, you tweeted something earlier today in reference to you thought that this would be sooner, but Lance Leipold at Kansas gets a contract extension to stay with Kansas. Actually, not years, but just money, the way that it looks like here. But Lance Leipold looks like he's going to get a little bit more money to stay at Kansas, maybe a little bit more buyout. Who knows?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing here with Lance Leipold is he's constantly been brought up in a lot of these head coaching openings because of the rapid turnaround for a program that is historically impossible to win at. I think the biggest thing is I believe the $300 million investment that's going into the facilities and the stadium. and then now to invest into your coach. He's now going to be, as soon as Venables is officially out of the SEC or out of the Big 12 and going to the SEC, he's going to be the second highest paid coach in the conference. Behind, I believe, Gundy is the number one guy. Leipold deserves all this. I've seen some people be like, oh, I'd love to get a pay raise to go under 500. Do people realize how goddamn hard it is to win at Kansas? Do people realize that this is an impossible place to win at? There is a limited buy-in from the fan base. There's a limited buy-in from the on-campus students. I have played a football game there. It is a weird just place to play a football game because they really don't give a shit. He deserves all this. And I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't end up sticking around for the long term.
I'm going to say something and people are going to laugh. Kansas just donated or is putting forth $134 million in stadium renovations, new money that is coming in reference to their athletic department or athletic programs in reference to football singularly. Okay. I don't know if singularly is a word, but in
singularly.
They have given Lance Leipold more than they've given other coaches for this sport. Which I do think is a little bit interesting. I don't know, Joe, if he does not continue to build this, all right, and continue to move on and put them where they are. Because look, they're in the Big 12 now. They don't have to play any of the big boys. Joe, we're going to start talking about them as a potential contender, a potential sleeper. We might have to because, again, Joe, they win their conference. They have an automatic bid. And I am not 1,000% sure that Lance Leipold, with the right set of circumstances, can outcoach a lot of these dudes in the Big 12.
I think there's a really, really realistic world that looking at their schedule, it is crazy how easy the Big 12 has gotten.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people thought I was crazy earlier in the week for bringing this up. Kansas could win it or get an automatic qualifier.
Well, this is why I was going to bat with you last week when we were talking about the Big 12 putting a 2-loss team in and them deserving a bye. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. I think that Kansas, for example, there's one losable game.
But no, hold on. Joe, they get a bye. The people,
I know. That's not what I'm bringing up. I'm just,
all right, the people get a bye. I'm just like, people.
But I am. My reason for bringing that up is because I think that the conference has become easier, so the best teams are going to have an easy path to having one loss and being a top 6 team. I agree with you, man. I think the more that we investigate this, Kansas has one losable game in my eyes, and that's Kansas State. That's it.
I know. Because look, they got Linwood, who no one knows who that is.
I didn't even know that they could schedule Lindenwood, by the way. I think that's a Division II team.
Okay. Well, they're playing a Division II team, Illinois. Joe, I'm just going to be honest. I know that game's in Champaign. I don't know if they don't go up there and win it. They got UNLV, the Fighting Barry Odoms. I think that they can win that. Joe, maybe West Virginia. Okay, Coach Brown, who I thought would be on this list again, actually had a decent year last year at West Virginia. But, Joe, they can win every other game on their schedule here. I mean, every single one of them. So that's why I'm saying you give him this extension and more money. Are we in a world where Kansas could make the playoffs?
To just throw in a side tangent on Lindenwood, recently moved up to FCS. That game might be 100 points to nothing. I'm just putting out there. Recent Division II team that just moved up. I've never seen a Power 5 team schedule a game like this. That is goddamn hilarious. But I 1,000% agree with you, Blake. I 1,000% agree with you. I think that Lance Leipold has done a really good job of developing talent. And here's another really big thing. They're losing a couple players. Austin Booker, really talented edge player. He's gone. Dominic Puny, their best offensive lineman, he's going to the NFL. There are 3 football players that I think are going to be the best in their conference, and I think 2 are going to be some of the best players in the 2025 NFL draft. Cornerback Kobe Bryant. Yes, his name is Kobe Bryant. Running back Devin Neal is going to be one of the best running backs in the country. Unbelievably talented running back, and he fits perfectly on this roster. I know that they lost their offensive coordinator, but they're going to put up a ton of points. And then Jalen Daniels, man. Jaden Daniels light.
I mean, if he can stay healthy,
he is an unbelievable player. He literally is. I think it's funny that his name is Jalen Daniels. He's Jaden Daniels light. He is the Walmart version of the Big 12 version of Jaden Daniels. Won't go in the first round, but he runs like hell, and he is perfect for this, triple option run and shoot offense that they run.
He's got to stay. He's got to stay healthy. Remember when he rolled up to Big 12 championship day, or not Big 12 championship days, Big 12 media days with the chain? Remember
the Apple Watch chain?
The Apple Watch chain, and then remember the year before it was a chain that had like the what do you call it? Like it had like it's like a rectangle, look like a rectangle. I don't even know how to explain it. But it had lighting on the chain where you could like customize it with an app or something. It's really weird.
Well, it was the Apple Watch where he hung. Is that what you're talking about? Where it was like the little Apple Watch that he hung,
and it had like the red letters.
Maybe there was maybe the other one. I don't see a picture of the other one.
Maybe I'm wrong. All right. Well, Kansas. Here we go. Cody McGee says they could hire Eric Bieniemy, USC.
But Bieniemy. But I don't know if that really. I don't know if Bieniemy.
That would be the worst head coaching hire in the history of
that would be really, really reactive. I don't know if that necessarily fixes things.
Who's your boy at Kansas State?
Chris Kleiman. Or are you talking about Avery Johnson? By the way,
no.
What were we gonna say?
I'm talking.
You're saying go and hire Chris Kleiman?
That's
not a bad idea.
Watch him win the Big 12 and make it to a playoff and get a bye. And somebody needs a coaching hire. Watch his name be on top of the board.
Yeah, you know who's won national championships?
Who?
Chris Kleiman.
Where?
North Dakota State. So I'm dead ass. I am so dead ass right now. Chris Kleiman was unbelievably
dead ass.
This is why you keep me on. I attract the younger audience.
Did you drink a Hawaiian punch before you came on the show too?
All right, I'm not 6. Okay, let's get that straight. No, I mean I'd hire. I don't know if he fits the LA vibe, but man, I'd hire Chris Kleiman. I'd hire him in a heartbeat for any opening that comes. I'd hire him in Florida.
Vibes go with coaches. Maybe he can change the vibe.
Well, this is why I think that the Lincoln Riley hiring was so overlooked and was automatically given a thumbs up by everyone. Like, wow, this is great. Look at all that offense. But you need somebody that has a physical, imposing presence and is going to build just a strong roster. Pete Carroll might have been a player's coach, but he worked their asses. And they were physical on the offensive line. They were even more physical on the defensive line. They ran the damn football. They were old school pro style football. And that was why they were good. This Big 12 passing shit doesn't work in the Big 10. It doesn't. I completely forgot what I was going to. Oh, the Avery Johnson thing, though. I just want to bring that. The TikTok loves our Avery Johnson take, by the way.
Do they really?
Yeah, it's got like 20,000 views on it.
Okay.
It's really random.
I told you, man, there's people in Kansas. Let's talk about our good friends over at Home Field Apparel. We wrap the show up with this Ohio State thing. Stay with us.
Ruffino and Joe Show is brought to you by Home Field Apparel, which is the best, without a doubt, premium collegiate apparel brand that is out there. They have over 150 different colleges that you can choose from, whether you're an Illinois fan or a Rutgers fan, maybe you're an LSU fan like Blake, or maybe you're an Alabama fan. Whatever it is, even Idaho, they have so many different designs for so many different football programs that I can guarantee you're going to find some great stuff to help root for your favorite team. I've already gotten my Notre Dame stuff. Blake has his LSU stuff. Make sure you head on over to homefieldapparel.com to check out your team's collection of clothing apparel that they have on the website. And when you do so, when you check out, make sure you use promo code Ruffino Joe to get 15% off your order. That is RUFFINO Ruffino Joe. Head on over to homefieldapparel.com and get your college gear today.
Hold on. Deep sources.
Oh, no.
Do not be surprised if the Saints move up. Do not be surprised if the Raiders move up. After the combine today, a little birdie whispered in my ear, chirp, 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 and maybe said that the Raiders are going to move up and that the Saints have told people that they were going to move up. Also, deep sources.
Antonio Pierce, I actually can see that. I mean, he literally said, I'm a go-getter. He literally said today that he's done with the Band-Aid patchwork stuff at quarterback. And I mean, he said that very loudly. I agree. But I trust you're hearing that.
Yeah, I told you this a couple weeks ago. Everybody overlooked it. Understand the connection that could be out there, but I have heard the Saints are moving. By the way, Arizona trading back.
I think that's likely. I think geez, I think it's very likely.
I don't
very
think
possible.
I don't think it's likely. I think it's over.
I mean, it makes sense for them. They need picks. They need players.
Oh, it's going to be interesting. By the way, just a little spoiler alert. Commanders are going to be taking Caleb Williams. Nevertheless,
where'd you get that from? That implies that they're trading up. Do you think that they're trading up? No.
Oh, God. I'm going to get in so much trouble.
Just saying shit to say shit over here. Just not. You're just saying things and then not addressing it. That's the worst possible thing that you could be doing.
I'm not going to address it any further. My sourcing stands. All right. Joe, this week, Ohio State self-reported some stuff in reference to some recruiting violations. Make of it what you will, good sir.
Yeah, I was trying to stir things a little bit at the beginning of the show by saying like, "Oh, are they getting away with things? Are they violating NCAA rules? Are they basically Michigan?" No, they're not. I'm a little sad Elks isn't here because Elks would be losing his mind if we did that the whole show. The things that were self-reported was that a coach commented on Caleb Downs' post when he committed, and that had to get taken down. They used a sled in winter workouts. One of the coaches, I think it was Brian Hartline, sent Pac-Man Jones an edit of their son, or not his son, Chris Henry Jr., who he is a guardian of, sent him a picture, but he's only a junior, so that's illegal per NCAA rules. And then the boosters of a number of boosters at Ohio State took a picture with a recruit, and they took it down because they're not supposed to do that. None of these things are bad. There's nothing wrong with any of these things. I think the Pac-Man thing, and I think that the commenting on Caleb Downs' post is stupid that that's even a rule. The booster thing, we can maybe make an argument for that they're not really supposed to be in contact with them, and why are they even taking pictures with recruits? But I'm not really worried.
Why are they flying them on planes?
I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, like, I don't know what to tell you anymore. Like, I'm there. Self-report it. Don't self-report it. Can I just be honest with you?
Okay.
Excuse my language. I just don't give a more because I look at, Joe, what they going to do? They're going to hit him with a scholarship. They're going to hit him with a fine. What are they going to do? Because the booster thing, which is the biggest of them all, okay, it doesn't matter anymore. So you want to say, oh, they self-reported, they did this, they did that. It does not matter anymore.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
And they are doing this to save face, do whatever. Hey, just self-report it. We'll sleep it under the rug. No real big deal. It is what it is. Okay, everybody's fine and dandy. Whoopity frickety do. Joe, they don't have the power right now to do anything. This is going to be kick. We're not, Joe, we probably won't even talk about this. We won't talk about it. This is as much as a non-story now because of the Nico Iamaleava situation than anything.
Yeah.
I don't know why people everybody's like, oh no, nothing's going to happen. No shit, nothing's going to happen.
But
here's the thing though. Here's the God's honest truth. It's not going to stop them.
What do you mean by that?
Ohio State is going to continue, which, by the way, they made a massive move this week, hiring Sam Petito. All right, let me start off with this. They can self-report all they want because help is on the way. Help is here. I don't think they understand what they just got in Sam Petito, by the way. Georgia, Alabama, now at Ohio State. He's been a part of all three dynasty runs. All I'm saying here is this. What do you want me to do? Joe, I don't, unless it's so bad to talk about, I don't know if I want to even talk about the NCAA in these violations anymore because nothing can come of it. And everybody, I told you so, here we are. I am sorry to every Big Ten. Let me tell you what I'm sorry for. I am sorry for every Big Ten school, okay, that does not have the luxury of getting that booster to do something like that, and you're working your ass off. I'm sorry to Rutgers. I'm sorry to all these people. And it is what it is. You can't help it. But if Rutgers does this and gets caught, oh, did you see what happened at Rutgers? It's so we got to have law and order. We can't keep running around like a kid with a diaper off.
Well, that's what I was going to say is that you're saying the quiet part out loud, which is, okay, they self-reported these things. It doesn't mean anything. They're not going to really get held accountable for anything that they did because at the end of the day, I think a lot of these programs are going to continue to just do whatever they want. And if they really feel necessary, they can just go and self-report and they can just get it out there, get it out in the open and move on. I agree with you. And this all stems from what I said the other day, that Charlie Baker, by not being more direct in saying and enacting and building out rules of what you cannot and can do in the recruiting game, and then moving forward and saying, we're going to enforce these things starting from today on, because he chose to take the route that he did, now we're just going backwards. More and more things are going to become more and more acceptable. You told me after the show on Monday that a coach told you that it makes things so much harder for him as a recruiter. Damn right.
No.
Yeah.
And so, Joe, again, you got the Attorney General of Tennessee admitting on a show today that Tennessee violated the rule. Look, they are called red-handed. We don't agree with the ruling with the new antitrust and NIL law, all that kind of stuff. That is their basis. Joe, if this would have been a typical recruiting violation that they were hitting them on instead of NIL, right? And said, look, we, based off your state, based off everything, this is what we say and this is what our rules are, then it would have been a whole different story. We could have had a conversation about this. Mm-hmm. I agree with you on the Charlie Baker thing. It doesn't stop that it's pay for play. Joe, he legitimately on Crane and Company today said it was pay for play. Those words were discussed. So again, what do we do? If you
we just wait, man. It sucks. It's so stupid.
But let me ask you this question: how are you going to get anything resolved when the courts keep shutting everything down?
The NCAA did this to themselves. That's been my argument the whole time. They dug themselves a hole.
Well,
they dug themselves a hole.
They couldn't stop a case that was in the Supreme Court. Like when actually this isn't the NCAA. Can I tell you something? Can I make a bold statement here?
Okay.
Can I tell you why it's not the NCAA's fault?
Why?
Because they actually had guidelines and rules. Okay. Now, amateurism was their fault. And you can't not say that it wasn't. People not being able to get paid, players not being able to get paid. Yes, I 1,000% agree with you. But the letter of the law and how they did things, EA Sports is actually the people to blame.
What? How?
Because of the Ed O'Bannon case. Ed O'Bannon, in the beginning of all of this, said that he would take $1 million in a settlement, and EA Sports said no. So they can't stop a Supreme Court. How could they stop that?
I mean, if we really want to go down, the line of, progress here. Yeah, I mean, we could point back to that. I just still think that the NCAA.
What do you want them to do? They can't make a ruling on that case. Let me ask you this question: what preemptive things could they have done that people could not have taken them to court on, which is what they did, and get sued over it?
But okay, this is what I've been trying to get at. Their decision to investigate when there are so many better I know we got to get out of here in a second, but there's so many strategic, actual better moves in order to rebuild the foundation of the sport that should have been the focus instead of spending time and resources on investigating teams. By investigating, you're automatically
investigate
teams. Wait. You're investigating automatically antagonizes and points the finger at schools. And of course, they're going to react like a scared animal. I know that's probably not the best wordage, but like they're gonna get freaked out. They're gonna be like, "Oh my god, what did we do wrong?" Like we're gonna fight back. We're not gonna just take this. At the end of the day, I mean, like it's even has gone as far as if you've listened to some of the NCAA's arguments where, well, a lot of people, the thing that they love about our sport is that we're not paying the athletes. Like, well, that's the problem. That legally, if you bring that up in court, is not going to go the way that you want it to. And they need to start moving past that and stop using that as background as, well, this is what we used to do, and this is why people like the sport. They need to find a forward-thinking plan and enact it and build it and go forward with it. Otherwise, we're going to get even more nonsense, and then the conferences are going to separate.
This is why we need a commissioner to have this battle.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Joe, I guarantee you I could walk into court right now before we get out of here and explain to a judge more articulately, or say the word, and I'm even struggling articulately that this is what you have to do. Everybody's got to have some guidelines. You got to have rules. Okay, if we want to work on a collective bargaining agreement in reference to payment, sure, but we have to have temporary rules. And you're going to have to today give us this one temporary rule so that life can continue to go on and we don't have all mad chaos. And if a judge says no to that, then shame on them. They need to get their hoo-haws chopped off because you're ruining the sport that I love, you son of a biot. Vigamutana. You know what that means?
No, what does it mean?
You son of a anyway. All right. All to the combine you go, my man.
Yeah, no show Sunday. I'll be back Monday.
All right. We'll see y'all on Monday. Y'all have a good day. See you guys. Peace.